cheeseburgers ever. Welcome back, and as I said to Claire, an emotionally draining game for the Chiefs and for Order, we have to assume as well. But also the casters, long game, heaps happening.
Yeah.
Seeing, Swift is doing so much work. Chiefs back and forth. Bryce, how are you holding up?
I'm fine, mate. I didn't lose my glasses, unlike you. They disappeared.
Yeah, I change it up every now and then.
Yeah.
We can't all look like nerds.
Was a good game.
I have them. I can't.
Were you wearing them at the start of the show?
No.
Oh,
I was
okay,
wearing
yeah.
them yesterday.
Yeah, okay. That's I'm actually just
You
not
played
used to...
yourself.
Yeah, I did. I thought you were wearing them at the top of the show. I thought you'd left them cheeky upstairs.
They're
Little
very
debacle.
clear, so they may have just
Yeah.
looked like that from the angle.
No, I'm fine. I'm chilling.
That was a rough loss for Order because
Yeah.
it didn't feel like it needed to go that way.
It was a game that they should have won, I think, is what you would look at. Like, Order will go home, they'll be disappointed, but Chiefs will go home and they'll also be disappointed.
Yeah.
Because that game felt like, Order had it in the bag. With how big the Yasuo-Gragas combo was, they had it in the bag, but, Chiefs somehow pull a rabbit out of a hat, and that's the thing that I always look at with Chiefs is, like, they take the engage and they are just so good at just snap, we're going, and like executing as 5 members, flashing for it.
That
And,
turnaround is
yeah,
so fast.
and just making it work from situations where it shouldn't. But
Yep.
like, it's so surprising that sometimes it catches you off guard as well.
Yeah, it's also kind of interesting. Like, I just thought about it as you mention it. Like, everybody goes home disappointed. It's like, wow, that was fun. But that's only like a regular season thing. Once you get towards like the end of the season, you're in like week 9, week 10, like you're into playoffs and stuff like that. It's like these games and these types of games are what you end up seeing, right? Like it's a comeback victory, and during week 6 of the OPL, it's like, oh man, like I'm disappointed. I think I played bad early game.
Yeah.
It's just like, thank God we won that game. It's
yeah.
like the series is still on. Like
Yeah.
that, let's do it again. It's kind of funny how that works out.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
The middle of the season depressing, at the end of the season clutch.
It's like that's the best victory. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
totally.
that turns around the best of 5 series. That's like the game.
But at the whole time,
Yeah.
entertaining for the viewer. Speaking of entertaining for the viewer, I looked it up. It's called the Whisper Game.
The whisper game.
We weren't doing much
That's not-
whispering.
That's not what you do at all.
That's not what you do.
Well, I
you
think
kind of shout and enunciate.
Yeah, you know, the person whispers to you.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean, even without the glasses, I understand why they called it the Whisper Game.
I'll just clarify. Look, I was worried about you. Nick.
So we figured we'll play a bit more
Sure.
because
not?
this is a Bryce kind of game.
Sure.
I feel like this is so.
This can go down there.
I'm going to say that Bryce. You could go first.
Sure.
Yeah. Repeat back what you think it is at all times. At
Oh,
all
I'm
times
stuck.
possible. Repeat back
Apologies.
just the first thing that pops into your head.
Yep.
All right. Now I've mixed some other things in here.
I'll turn it on before you put it on.
Oh,
so
that
you-
is
Yeah.
that is loud. Can they? It's my favorite
Oh
song.
my god, that is an awful sound.
Oh, I hate this so much.
Do you want it down a little?
No, it's fine.
you're
It's
good?
fine. I just
You've paused it on him.
yeah, you did.
Oh, that's a lot of honesty that you said it as well. I wonder if he would have if you didn't point it out.
Okay.
You almost showed me the thing.
You couldn't read my handwriting.
Green tea Kit Kats are best.
You see something the best.
Green tea
Green tea.
Kit Kats.
Green tea tastes the worst. Literally the worst. It tastes so bad.
This is not a debate, Bryce.
Not an argument.
What?
This is not a debate.
Yes, it is. I'm on the fly.
Green tea
Green tea
Kit Kats
tastes
are
like.
best.
Is the last 2 words a piss? Okay, is it green?
What? Green?
One
Green
green tea
Tea. Kit Kats.
kick ass.
You really chose a hard one.
Well,
Kit Kats.
is less.
how is he getting further away from it?
I'll have a couple more goes and then I'll get you to have
Yeah,
a go.
okay, yeah. You put my sweet mouth on the
Kit
job.
Kats.
You're saying kick ass. He's saying kick ass. I
Kit Kat.
hit
Kit Kat.
kiss ass. What are you?
Have a go. He's gonna go.
What? I swear I'm right. I swear I haven't got
Okay.
it wrong yet.
Okay.
Is it green tea?
Green tea,
Green.
Yeah.
Green tea.
Yeah.
Kit Kats,
Sorry.
Kit Kats, Kit Kats, Kit
Elise.
Cats.
Less. What? I'm not gonna
never
get
been
this.
this funny. I've never.
I'm smiling too much for this. Kit Kit.
Kate?
Kit.
Gets? I don't know.
Kit.
Hits? I don't.
Look at the words coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, I know.
Kit. Cat.
I don't know.
Oh my god.
We've reached an impasse.
I can't.
It's just
Okay.
It's so funny.
Kit. It's because it all just
hold on.
looks like one word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's on the wrong way, and it's there we go. Ah,
Okay.
there we go.
Yeah, that was the problem.
He'll smash
That
it
was
now.
my problem. Yeah.
Kit.
Get. What? I don't.
Kit. K. Okay, I'm gonna do it one letter at a time.
Kit.
One letter at a time. K.
K.
E.
E. Key.
T.
T. Cat.
Kit.
Kit.
Kid.
Kit. Kit. Green tea kit.
Cats.
Ass.
Oh
Do
my
it
god.
one word at a time again. A letter at a time again.
Cat.
At.
Cat.
Cat. Green tea cat.
No.
What? Kit Kat. Green tea Kit Kat. Ah.
Oh.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
well done.
Oh,
Oh,
terrible.
Oh my
I thought
God.
I
You
was
got-
bad at
Look,
this.
that was a debacle.
No,
But
I think
that
Kit
was-
Kats is a really hard word.
yeah, because kit is just like one.
You're just smiling at me. You're just like,
Green tea.
and it's just.
Trust
re-
me, you watch it back, he was not smiling.
A reference that some of our younger viewers may not get, but Cool Cat said, "This is Mr. Faulty and Basil," and I appreciate that very much.
There is too much butter on those trays.
All right.
All right. Give it to me.
Holy moly, this is loud.
Yeah, it is.
I'm getting a real laugh sweat working up.
A laugh sweat. All right, you ready? Good? All right. I have a fear of buttons. I have a fear.
I have a feeling of buttons.
I have a fear of buttons.
Of butter.
Of buttons?
Buttons.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Start again.
Wait.
Oh, song. I heard it stop. It's so
Okay.
loud. It is so loud. I have a fear of buttons.
I have a feeling of buttons. I have a feeling.
I have a fear.
No,
I have a
I have a fear.
fear of
Yes,
buttons.
yes, I have a fear of buttons.
amazing.
Look, there we go.
You smashed that.
Green tea kick-ass. That
Oh
was
my goodness.
That was a hell
I
yeah.
reckon he's got a good mouth. That's what it is.
Bryce does have a good mouth. I've always said it. Second best list in the OPL.
Weirdest thing we've ever said on the OPL, sure.
Do we want to do one for you before this one?
Oh,
'Cause I
sure,
have-
sure.
I've
Okay, sure.
got
I'm
something
happy to do
new.
one.
Where'd I put
Oh,
it?
yeah. This is...
I'm excited for this one.
You got it.
We'll chuck Hyperexy over there.
That's you.
Okay, I'll take this out. Oh, this is horrible.
This would be funny if producers need something. No, we just have an earpiece in, so we're here for an
luck.
undefined amount of time.
Bad
Do
luck.
you want to do it?
You
All right.
well, yeah.
Sometimes you gotta make a door.
Chip time is the best time.
Close.
Yeah, not bad.
Sometimes.
Stan Mole.
Stan Mole.
Some. Stan Mole. Sometimes
Sometimes
you gotta make a door.
you have to make a run.
You gotta make a door.
Shorter, make it shorter. Sometimes
You.
two words, two syllables, two
Second
letters.
word.
The word two. Two words.
He's been watching
Compound
this all
word.
night.
Yeah.
It's a compound word. You. Sometimes
Sometimes
you.
two.
You.
You. Sometimes you. By the way, this is a banger song.
Nice.
Wait.
He wants to start it again.
Sometimes you.
Gotta.
Chocolate.
Gotta.
Chop top.
Gotta.
Daughter.
That was closer. Gotta.
Collar. Sometimes you collar.
No.
Sometimes you
Gotta.
shorter.
Actually, we'll skip gotta.
I'm going to try one different way.
Make.
Making.
Make.
Baking. Haking.
Make.
Use your mouth more.
Make.
Bathe.
Using my mouth more did not work.
Sometimes you make,
Close. Really close.
bake, make, shake,
wait.
hake, take.
No, make was correct. I don't know how to tell him this.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Sometimes
you gotta make.
something making,
Close.
make. Something make. Sometimes you something make.
Yes.
Sometimes you shouldn't, couldn't, wouldn't.
Gotta.
All right, let me try. Round two. Okay.
Give it to the best mouth of the OPL.
Okay. Sometimes you
Sometimes you
gotta,
lolly. What?
gotta.
Gotta?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
wait.
No, that's not
No,
it.
no, no,
Yeah,
Sam.
yeah. Start again. Next song.
Sometimes you gotta make
Adore.
a shorter,
Adore.
Separate the
a
words.
shoe, a
Door.
shoe,
No.
No.
Door.
door.
Yeah,
Sometimes you gotta make a door?
Yeah, there you go.
Makes sense, I suppose.
There we go.
It's a
That's
Vi
it.
quote.
Oh,
It's so hard.
Yeah.
It's so difficult.
Yeah.
oh my god. Okay.
Gotta was a really hard one.
Gotta was a hard one. You did say when we were coming down that Australian mouths may have trouble with this one.
Yes,
I think
did.
I think
did.
you were right. That was amazing. Okay, I've got one more for Bryce.
Do we need to put your earpiece in just in case?
I will put it in because Richard will definitely start yelling at me.
If he screams loud enough, we'll be able to hear it anyway.
Just start
put it near
screaming
my
from the
ear.
production room.
Actually, I'll put mine in while we're going.
All right. If you give me green tea,
Ready?
kick ass again.
Ready? The shoes don't...
These rules.
Wait. The shoes don't fit my hand.
The shoes will fix
The shoes
the shoes,
don't...
the toes. Choose,
The hand.
choose
The shoes don't...
those dudes.
Those dudes don't fit my hand. The shoes
The shoes. The shoes? Oh, okay. I had it.
No,
Don't
it's the dudes.
don't
Don't
fit
fit. These shoes don't fit.
my hand.
My head.
My hand.
My hand. These shoes don't fit my hand.
Amazing. We did it. Well done.
Who says these shoes don't
don't
fit my
know.
hand? Is that a League of Legends thing?
No. That one was just I pulled it out of nowhere.
There you go.
Okay.
We got time for one more quick one for Rusty,
Okay.
and then we're
Okay.
done.
God damn, what is... I was saying these shoes like 7 times, and then
Actually,
I didn't get
that
I
one.
didn't get an affirmative
an
response,
epic
so it's
solo.
like these dudes. Oh, weird. Okay. Diana is no longer wholly human.
I got none of that, but I think you said human.
Yeah. Diana.
Diagon Alley.
Diana.
Diagonal.
Drunkard.
Diana.
Tiger.
Diana is no longer wholly human. No, we don't have that. Diana.
Something is only human.
Almost. Diana.
Diana
Yes. Is
is...
no longer.
Say that again.
No longer. No longer.
No longer human.
Yes.
So close.
Diana
Diana
is no longer
is no longer
wholly.
only human.
Close.
never gonna get
Diana
wholly.
is no longer wholly human. Wholly.
Diana is no longer elderly.
No. Wholly.
Oldly.
Elderly. Close. Wholly.
Boldly.
Holy.
Only.
Holy.
Totally.
Wholly human.
Holy.
Yes.
Human.
Diana.
Okay.
Diana is no longer wholly human.
Diana is no longer wholly human.
There we
Oh,
go.
well done, ladies and gentlemen.
Holy sucks.
Oh, Holy's a tough one. I appreciated Bryce going.
We figured it out.
Excellent game. Good work, everybody. Please send in your suggestions for MEO segments on Twitter at OPL or at NickBoy. The winner of the best suggestion tonight will get themselves a HyperX gaming headset. It is time to jump directly into game number 3, Direwolves versus Bombers. A game that could see Direwolves match Bombers in the standings. So let's throw it over to Macca's Champ Select.
Thank you. I really just enjoyed Bryce just now throw up a hairball.
Hakana. A hakana. Holy. Holy.
Amazing.
All right. Should be a good game.
Let's get into Direwolves Bombers. Yeah, so Direwolves apparently able to lose and win against basically anyone. And Bombers, which I think I've heard 3 different coaches on 3 different occasions now just say Bombers are the team to look at us alongside Mammoth.
Direwolves.
Direwolves.
No, I completely agree. I think that, I kind of called it at the start of the season. This is a team that has such an impressive top side of the map that as long as Luch and Road can mesh at all and just be role players, which they've shown that they can do or exceed in a lot of games so far, then they're going to be right there at the end of the season. 6-5, it's not the most glamorous scoreline, but it's still got themselves in that 4th position. They're still making inroads on Avant Gaming, starting to round those guys out. And yeah, this is a Bombers lineup that everyone should be scared of.
Yep, so what you're gunning for, Direwolves banning away the...
Totoro back.
Totoro's back, yeah. So Corporal, obviously, was playing for the last 3 games, I believe. And yeah, Totoro is coming back in the 2nd day, banning away Olaf, Vladimir, and Aurelia.
Interesting draft so far. So the Aurelia, definitely a good flex pick at the moment, but wouldn't say the highest priority without something like Sejuani available. So this means to me that maybe Direwolves want to take the Sejuani, I was going to say. The Silas ban kind of indicated that the Bombers were willing to let them have it, because that's kind of the jungle response to it right now. So pretty interesting draft so far from the Bombers. I want to see what they go towards.
Yeah, I feel like they must have something in mind to have banned the Silas and given away the Sejuani, but we'll see. Nico and Lux also banned here for the Bombers. See if they just, maybe have priority on like the other big power picks such as Yuumi right now. Maybe they just lock in their bottom lane right here. This is actually what we saw from the Bombers yesterday, where they just locked in the bottom side and just left the top side of the map for later on, so we'll see. Looking towards, I mean, this would literally just be the same draft as yesterday.
Absolutely, and why not, right? Certainly looked pretty impressive yesterday.
Yeah.
And I think that the thing about the Bombers is they kind of throw out the strongest bottom lane. That allows every other role to be able to counterpick with perfect knowledge. Because when you're on red side, even if they don't take a solo lane here, you can take a jungle, then double ban the position that you want to blind. And just be able to guarantee best blind out of that draft. Then you get, obviously, further counterpick in the 5th pick here on red side as well. So this is something that I think Bombers, really smartly identify. Use a couple of bans like the Lux ban to protect your bottom lane. They just take the best blind available. And, I mean, nothing really is going to beat Lucian Yuumi because it's such an early mid-game spiking bottom lane when you run it together.
Will be a response of Ezreal Karma. Again, 2 big picks right now. Karma, as we've seen, can be a triple flex, and Ezreal most likely just going to go down into AD carry. And Katsuri basically just shown he's good whoever's alongside him. I basically saw 0 change in Katsuri's play between Totoro and Corporal.
Yeah, completely agree. And kind of Curtis said he doesn't really believe in the synergy thing either. Like, he just thinks that good players can play well together and, he's scrimmed with both of them, so why would he not have, at least decent synergy? And then, it comes down to communication and the ability to get on the same page with the matchups. Matchups should be played a specific way is kind of what Curtis believes. And then, if the players know the matchup, they're just going to play it that way. So it's, I mean, it's a pretty specific way to view the game, I would say. It doesn't really leave all that much room for flexibility and kind of innovation on the spot. But if that's what he needs out of his bottom lane, then, I mean, it seems to be working so far.
Yeah, I mean, so far, it's definitely been the case. Talia picked up early here for the Bombers as well. Flex between jungle and mid. And, Gangplank, Zoe banned out.
This is so funny. They're just the 2 safest blinds. Like, the safest blind top lane is 100% Gangplank at the moment. And then one of the safest blind mids, since she's been released, to be perfectly frank, is the Zoe. So they're just saying, we want the skill matchup. Beg my pardon. We want you to have to play something a little bit more volatile. We're not going to give you kind of that luxury of just, taking a scaling or even matchup in these roles.
I'm literally just going to say Aatrox is still open after that last ban of Akali and Mimic. We've seen it so often from him. Ryoma, direct ban will be the Akali coming out there as well. So really just bog standard here from the Bombers.
Yeah, Ryoma played Renekton yesterday. Mimic played the Akali and was still able to pick up some solo
Also
kills.
true.
So, certainly a good flexible ban. I was going to say Jay's still available, so the Aatrox lock-in, a little bit of a head-scratcher for me. However, you see the Direwolves don't want that whatsoever. They actually instead go for a Camille lock-in, which is kind of against the grain because Jace has really good synergies with the Sejuani. People don't know this, but you can hit the W in range form, swap to hammer, and get 3 instant auto attacks out.
Yep,
pretty
all melee
much.
range, yeah.
All will proc that Sejuani passive, and as long as Aatrox doesn't have third Q available, uncounterable gameplay, then the layering of CC is actually pretty gross between them. Stun into knockback in the wrong direction, creates the longer lane. You also help the Sejuani with the speed up gate. So I really like that 2v2, and something we've seen played pretty standardly into Aatrox internationally, but certainly not going to be the case here. Interested to see whether it's going to be a mid lane Camille or whether that is going to be a mid lane Cannon, which we haven't seen in a very long time.
It would be, a very long time since we've seen just the straight up AP Cannon mid lane, always usually trends towards the top lane. And the final pick was Lissandra coming out here for Ryoma as well.
Cool, so this is actually really interesting. We've seen way more on-hit cannon come back into global play with Cressy attack, one of the safest laners. Obviously, Biopanther has the option to go AP cannon in this game, but I kind of like on-hit against Mimic. You do need to keep him down, otherwise he's a team fight monster. And I don't really fancy doing the same thing as what the Bombers comp does at the moment because they're just so explosive when they do it.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of splitting up this map. Good 1-3-1 comp locked in if that is what they go towards. And we'll see out of the Bombers, once again, that just potent CC combo on the top side of the map. Wherever Ryoma is, if Wild is behind him, going to be able to play off that CC very easily. And the Bombers used to do this with Volcan as well, just 2 very good Taliyah players coming across from Korea. And should be free kills on get back as soon as Ryoma has level 6.
That's what you're hoping for. And again, still AP potential as well from the bottom lane here from the Direwolves as well onto that Ezreal. So still it can be a balanced composition anyway. And yeah, the only different thing here from the Bombers is probably just Lissandra going into the mid lane, but everything else is pretty standard what you would expect from the Bombers.
And it's more of a throwback than non-standard, right? In split number 1, Tommy played a lot of Lissandra, obviously got some of the nerfs, but I think now it's started to be pegged back in line with the other wave clear mid laners. And when people are willing to play things like, I guess, Camille mid lane and stuff, the wave clear battle doesn't really become an issue because Lissandra gets to choose whether this lane pushes or whether she allows it to push into her. So I really like the pick. As I said, they've obviously picked the Camille to target out with the Sejuani a specific lane. So this is great safety coming out of Ryoma. And once again, as I was saying yesterday, just shows the flexibility. Yes, he plays explosive champions, but he also does play control mages to a very high level.
Yeah, exactly. We have Soul Strikes here as well with us. What are your thoughts on the mid lane here, Ryoma picking up the Lissandra?
Yeah, Spawn said earlier, Lissandra wave clear did target it, but it's not much of a problem against Camille where she wants to go in. And it's less of a Lissandra that's being targeted by Sejuani Camille. It's more of a Taliyah that needs to be careful. But in post 6, we should have a lot of kill threats from our Lissandra Taliyah combo. So it should be quite interesting how the game's going to pan out.
And I want to take you away from this game specifically. I caught you in the corridor before last game, and you kind of watched the first 2 games of the day. What have you made about all these kind of weird bait trap drafts that are coming out, people trying to get people on things like Vladimir and trying to counterpick? Seems like the OPL's gone very different this weekend to how we normally see it going.
I think different team has their own strength and they're playing around their own strength. So I think it's really good showing that some teams are late game heavy focused, whereas we're more of an early game focus. So yeah, it's good to see a lot of diversity coming from other teams.
And now talk to me about your guys' strengths, because yesterday we saw probably the most decisive game I think your lineup of the Bombers has ever played. Is that what you want from you guys? Just that aggression, that ability to close out good teams really, really quickly?
Yeah, ever since coming back from Korea, I've learned so much about the early game snowball. So I really encourage any team with strong members like Ryoma and Mimic, and we can push that advantage forward.
And what are your thoughts just on the league and the strongest teams right now? Because I've spoken to probably 3 different coaches now who've been like, Mav probably the best team right now, and also Bombers. So everybody's looking towards you guys.
Yeah, so like I think our fundamental early game is really good, but right now our mid game is quite lacking. So that's something that we're going to be we've been working on towards this weekend, and I think the scrim result this week was really good as well from the mid game. So yeah, so it's just going up from here for us.
And if you're going to give the viewers at home like one thing to watch for in this comp, to be like, okay, Bombers have succeeded in like what Soul Strikes have set them up for in draft, what do you want people looking towards?
Most likely Wilder and Ryoma synergy. The mid jungle synergy is very important in the current meta, so just watch out for these two.
Awesome. Well, as always, a pleasure talking to you, Soul Strikes, and we'll catch you later.
Thank you.
As we keep saying about Soul Strikes, you know, ability to be very good coach here. I think he's taken very good rosters and made them great, and then the ability to go over career as well. This was a guy that was a jungler himself, you know, went to the coaching position when Hellions were in the league and they picked up double Korean import, and I think has grown into the role and takes coaching very, very seriously. So yeah, I think, you know, absolutely spot on with a lot of what he's saying. You know, this mid lane jungle synergy that everyone keeps kind of harping on about, you know, the Gragas, Yasuo, Camille, as well as the Sejuani, you know, Talia Renekton, now Talia Lissandra. Like, it is just so key in the current meta to be able to set up successful ganks. And as I said, pushing side lanes don't matter if you have control of the mid lane.
Right.
Because you can just get uneven number advantages everywhere in those scenarios.
So far in this game, we've had a pretty quiet early game. Pretty much even across the board, which is pretty much to be expected, to be honest. First recalls coming across from a lot of members on the Direwolf side. Bottom lane, obviously a strong bottom lane here from Bombers, first picked with the Yuumi and Lucian, playing into Katsuri. Now with his new support of Toro, I should say new old support.
Yep.
It's replacing Corporal.
And already looking the goods in this laning phase, right? I mean, you can see they're able to push in with the Ezreal as well as Karma. Bryce kind of hit on this yesterday. But, you know, when you have Karma, she has a very good ability to be able to push waves and set up favorable trades through the empowered Qs and the empowered Es. And then Ezreal, early on in the game, is one of the best pushing AD carries because of the auto attack reset and the ability to stack up attack speed. So I think, like, this is how the lane is supposed to go. They get the early reset. That means that they're going to be able to get back on Sheen and not going to use teleport. And I think, you know, the Bombers is one of those teams that they respect that. They play the lane as it should be. They're happy to fall down a little bit of CS, and now that the Vamp Scepter has been picked up, you know, this is where Luch and Rogue should be looking to play a little bit more aggressive in the lane.
Yeah, she trades some auto attacks and gets some lifesteal off the back of that one. And Tony Witch looking towards this mid lane here, level 5 by Camille. Totoro looking for perhaps a sneaky gank here on Terayama, would have to get in range. Oh, Biopanther walks into Q3. So we'll flash and probably recall off of that.
Yeah, and kind of scratch his head as well as to how that happened. Because, like, he obviously didn't want to pot. So fight. You can tell when people want to fight because they roll pots really early.
Right.
But, like, he just walked back in off the back of it and, you know, nearly took his whole life bar in damage, to be perfectly frank. So a bit of a strange exchange up there in the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, that aside, you know, Biopanther, I think, has definitely come into his own in these last couple of weeks for sure. You know, like before I joined the league, obviously he was a rookie, had a breakout split, and then kind of when I came in, it was not a lot, but coming into this mid lane, 2 versus 2, stun goes down before the shield, first blood over to Wilder, a bit too easy.
Man, just in case, Mimic's there, right? That's one of those old school teleports where the jungler just can't even look to trade afterwards because you know that there's another person coming in. We'll lose nothing because top lane was pushing back into it. He was the one that crashed the wave before the reset, so just really good play there from Mimic. That's solid fundamentals coming out, and you know, as Soul Strike said, this mid 2v2 is the area to watch, and they pick up first blood again.
Yeah, I mean, we were watching. Yeah, well played. And I was literally just going to say before the gank, like level 6 will be huge just for this game in general. Like a lot of big ultimates, Ultimatum, the Ice Prison coming in from Lissandra, ultimates from the jungle as well. Like they are all catalysts for a fight to happen, a skirmish to happen, a pick to happen. And Direwolves, off of that, will look towards the dragon. It will be a mountain start.
Yeah, not a bad dragon actually, because they do have a really nice 1-3-1 comps, and they've got pushing in 2 lanes. Well, they should at least. In the fact that they have a ranged cannon that looks like he is actually going to go AP, as well as a bottom lane that has a Karma, so you would expect that to push in. So they should be able to get chip damage on turret, and you know, while turret plates are still up and available, Mountain Drakes just give you that little bit of extra cash when you're able to have access to those structures.
Yep, definitely not a bad thing to have at all. Cannon, Bounce back with a good amount of farm. Going to be pretty much even, to be honest, once this wave resolves. Goes down the river, places down a ward. I believe that was spotted though, which was pinged up there by the Bombers.
Yeah, Bombers are one of those really smart teams, in my opinion, where they kind of have good natural intuition about the game and not like count you out of lane, and they understand how far you can get to like place vision. And I think that that's one of the more impressive things. You know, I always talk to top laners that are, you know, young and emerging in the scene, and it's things like teleport time. Is if you teleport off vision, like how do you know if someone teleported or walked back? Like how long should it take you to get from base to top lane with no boots, with brown bags, you know, with boots too? And those kind of things just become really important as the game goes on, because otherwise you start calling wrong summoners. Again, mid lane.
Oh, flash into prison, into knockback. I mean, again, not a whole lot that Get Back can do there.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, there's nothing he can do, right? That's unblockable CC. And he's doing the right thing. He's going towards a Hex Drinker. Will kind of mess up his build later on because Sterix is such an important item for Camille. But, I mean, right now he's getting punished, so needs to be able to pick it up sooner rather than later.
Yeah, brutal. Still has flash though, but yeah, flash falls into prison is very frustrating. And yeah, 2 kills straight up in this mid lane, and it's been just going to be rinse and repeat, you know, whenever that ultimate is available. So looking towards the direwolves and see if they can do anything themselves. Raze just walking from lane to lane, going back into his jungle now, probably looking for second buffs that are now spawning.
Yeah, and I mean, he's farming up a storm, right? He's 63 CS. He's ahead of his mid laner.
It's crazy as such.
He's ahead of, you know, enemy 80 carry as well. So
yeah,
he's put the jungle on hard farm. Does mean he's level 7, but his team's starting to kind of suffer for it. He would have a gold lead, I would nearly suspect, just given the fact that he's had... That's a great trade from Luke.
Yeah, just as Katsuri is trying to step forwards, hits him with the full combo. Totoro as well getting slowed down. Tries to get the culling off there.
Ulti off Fog of War? No, there's not going to be. I was going to say, that's one of the cheeky things. If you see an 80 carry duck into Fog of War like that, expect them to throw an ulti out. Ray's going to be chased out of the jungle here. That would have been a really nice chunk, because I don't actually think Luch would be able to catch this wave with that and the pressure that Raze has in the jungle. Get back now rotating over as well.
Keeping a bit of a Grump contest. Grump's going to get impatient and go back to his resting place, and Raze will get this ward here. Still, Wilder moving into the lane. Just sticking around just in case Raze decides to stay around. Finds the flick into the combo over the wall. Lucian also putting up the deep to Raze. Not going to die, but certainly sent back to his own jungle.
Yeah, and that's a really bad tanking of damage there, because they had the vision over the wall, and they were about to crash a full cannon wave into the turret. If Raze is healthy, you can argue that, you know, that should be a turret plate just off jungle pressure as he sits in the lane, but it's not going to be the case. So, you know, you can see that mid lane... I was going to say Ryoma could look aggressive again. Bottom lane should be the area that Direwolves are winning quite heavily. They are, but that chunk and the fact that, you know, we've already seen Wilder on the bottom lane does mean that they can't play as aggressively as they would like.
Yeah, still a very healthy lead in the bottom lane, I will say, for Katsuri. Almost 20 CS ahead right here.
How is Mimic back up? Some strange things in this game.
How's Mimic back up?
Well, what happened was Mimic got, you know, the flash.
Yeah.
But then it looked like Biopanther was like 10 CS up, like 8 or 10
right.
CS up last time I checked.
CS, right.
Yeah. And now, like,
yeah,
you check and it's 12. That's a 3 creep wave swing in like the last 4 minutes, maybe.
Something's been happening in the top lane.
I mean, if creep waves only come in every 30 seconds, that means like he's literally getting 2-for-1 CS on every wave. So, you know, just very strange play coming out of the top side of the map for the Direwolves.
Yeah, I mean, we saw before Biopanther was just struggling and just getting hit by all the abilities from Aatrox, which theoretically you pick Kennen into this Aatrox lane, so that doesn't happen, right?
Yep.
Like, we're also talking about the possibility of Jace coming out here. I think, as you said, also great alongside Sejuani. Basically turn into like a ghetto Reaction W with the triple hit. And you ultimate to start away from Katsuri. Just going to hit the ultimate there to weaken the minion wave. Ray's actually looking for a potential dive out of mana. Comes forward, smites him.
That's really nice from Raze, because now they have to rotate to the play. Should give his bottom lane a free shot. However, now caught out.
Ult and flash. Yeah, 0 chance. Also, ultimate from Wilder, I believe, came in. So, yeah, really wanted to pick down the Sejuani, but instant call on that one. No hesitation on what he wants to use.
I am very interested that Katsuri is staying here, obviously has the mana and feels like he can keep himself safe, you know. But it would have been a really nice recall for tempo. And, you know, when we say tempo, what we mean by that is they have to catch the full wave. You're already back in shot, walking out to have teleport available. Maybe it can be a flip into the top side. The Rift Herald looks like it has been started up now. All of these like contests would have been much easier if you took the time advantage.
Ryoma gonna hit him with the ultimatum, turns around, uses his ultimate on himself, buying time for the rest of the team to come in. Here comes Luch and Mimic. The whole gang's here. Bombers can't quite get in range though. The Infernal Chains not quite connecting, and Biopanther with the ultimate slowed down, stuns down onto Mimic. Dodged out from Get Back, flashing away, but Luch will flash forwards onto him with the cunning. Calls one, looking for his second. And Bombers find themselves their third kill.
And that could have been a huge ulti coming in from Biopanther, but instead he didn't decide to flash over the top of the CC and couldn't continue the chase. Had the stopwatch available as well, I believe. But instead, it is Luch, once again, showing that aggressive nature and the fact that he is finding a little bit more form in this 80 carry position. That's another massive win for the Bombers, and they've just been slowly whittling away in this early game.
That's what it's been, yeah. Just small wins here and there. This Lissandra, 3 assists, has literally been picking everything up, and it's so difficult to just initiate on Lissandra. She's all herself, turns into, whoa, Katsuri! Almost just blows him up from full. He was literally full health walking around that corner.
Yeah, certainly was. Was focusing on picking up as much honey fruit as he possibly could. Got dragged through all of the pebbles. If the wall wasn't there, probably certainly would have died. This is one of the strongest times for Taliyah. Level 9 Taliyah, just finished jungle item. You really don't want to be messing with Wilder at this stage of the game.
Yeah, and that would have been a 4 kill right there. But yeah, 2-0-1, bounty on his head, but does a lot of damage. And looking towards now, essentially the Herald. I mean, 4 members are here with Taliyah in mid lane. This should be pretty much all but secure here for the Bombers.
And you don't want to contest this if you're the Direwolves. You've already seen the damage that can come out of Wilder. You know that they have numbers top side of the map. And plating has just fallen, right?
Yep.
You've got a comp without a control mage, so you kind of saying that your outer turrets are going to fall before 20 minutes of this game because you don't have something like an Azir and a Nivea Orianna to keep up mid lane turret indefinitely. So, I mean, I think this should just be a given. Look for the trades across the map. You know, Biopanther, whack away on top lane, pick up the bottom lane turret as well. As long as this doesn't become, you know, a forced fight around mid lane due to a lack of rotation of jungle and support, which it well and truly could be right now, Pulse. This is a good trade for the Direwolves.
And it just feels so damn clean from Bombers. You know, it's like, we'll go Herald, we walk mid lane, everybody's in the right place at the right time. The responses from a play coming out from Dial was also just immaculate.
You're a very positive man, because I look at that and I think, what a poor response from the Direwolves. Like, they dropped
You focus
Herald.
on what's good, Spawn.
Yeah, I mean, they dropped Herald, right? Which everyone can see,
Yep.
because it has a big noise queue and everything. And your jungler and your support don't get there in time. And Bio has teleport. So they shouldn't, in theory, be able to take that play, because they haven't swept out for vision. You know, that could be a cannon flanky into Razor's ultimate there. Certainly should not have been a 2-for-1 turret trade, but the Direwolves just look like they're well and truly on the back foot this game. They're only down 400 gold, so it certainly isn't as bad as it could be. But, you know, just Bombers picking up those small wins based off being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, 2 sides of every coin, for sure. But, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Direwolves right now, and it just feels kind of, like, disconnected. You know, I'm looking at Biopanther specifically. Something has gone wrong in the top lane, and I don't know exactly what it is, but it's like teleports aren't coming through, like, was losing lane into Aatrox. And Mimic is just in the most perfect of positions, walks out of laning phase into what should be a bad matchup, is now just Aatrox in skirmishes and team fights, which is obviously super strong, and is on his way already to be a Phage next.
Yeah, and sometimes, like, just top gap exists. And I'm not saying that's the case here, but at the moment, like, I watch a lot of G2 games because they're just a fun team to, like, watch play League of Legends. But at no point am I like, I'm learning stuff from these guys. Because they just have, like, very good mechanical players that are all on the same page. And honestly could probably play anything at this stage of the game. Like, they're making animal noises during team comms. Like, they're just, like, they're nuts as a team, right? So, like, every now and again, you do just have to say, like, this isn't a, like, matchup thing. This isn't a champion thing. This is just Mimic, like, flexing his muscles and showing he can really play anything into anything in the OPL.
It's just interesting that we led this game talking about Biopanther and how, you know, he has been very much improving and maybe, I would say, getting back to form of what he was really like in spring. But yeah, I guess as a litmus test going up against someone like Mimic right here is just showing him the door. Top push came in. Bombers didn't quite knock down the turret, but still 2-1 in that regard. Padlock coming back from Lysandra will probably stick around to clear out the mini wave. Get back has found himself in a bit of a lane swap situation as Raze also moves towards the top lane.
This is a really good deep play right now for the Direwolves. What they have is they have their Ezreal and Karma mid lane. Oh, Rhymer face checking.
He will, but he's relatively safe. It's a 2 versus 2. Immediately throws down the prison. Here comes the ultimatum, the follow-up. This should be the kill onto Ryoma. Now Raze flashed away from as Wilder turning around with the pebbles. Not choosing the right direction. Totoro over the wall of the shield as well. Looking for the flick. Dodges, but it will be auto attacks to finish him off a 1-for-1.
Yeah, you see Raze doesn't have the Q there to be able to dash over the wall. There was a nice rotation out from Totoro and Katsuri, but they can't save the jungler's life. They should still be able to get the turret, however, which is ultimately the objective.
We'll try. I mean, Karma out of mana should be enough, or shouldn't be enough to defend the turret, but he's doing okay. 2 more members heading towards the top lane. I believe it's the bottom lane. Yeah, here comes Luch.
Well, this is really interesting,
There you
because what's happened is that they've started sacking creep waves elsewhere to defend this turret. You saw that Kennen rotated up, then that means that the Aatrox has to follow. Where the wave is right now on Mimic's side, it should be pushing back against him, so that means he should lose farm theoretically off this rotation. So that's a nice play from the Direwolves. Probably the first one of the day where they were really proactive, got the phase check. And nearly turned it into a 2-for-1 special. You know, Wilder was very close to falling down there as well. So showing that they certainly can play the macro game. What I was saying is that's a great rotation. You got Mimic, who's one of the strongest members at this stage of the game, on the opposite side of where you want the play to be. You've got the Camille and the Sejuani linking up, and so much mid lane priority out of your 2-item Ezreal and Karma that you're always going to be first to that play as well. So if the map stays in that state for the next 5 minutes, would expect Direwolves to start looking for those kinds of plays.
Want to see more of that coming through. Yeah, currently 1-3 in the mid lane. But ultimatum always an ability that will secure a fight. Now Rogue Wilder and Luch on their way to the top lane. Someone here to defend. They'll catch the ward. Minion waves coming in, so this should be a tower take. Though Ezreal is already sieging a mid lane, so they have to be quick about it. Yeah, they're going to split off right here and send 2 to the mid.
Mimic should actually die here. You have a look, Wilder coming in.
Yeah, he's staying to defend. Throws the chains. Jumps over the wall. This will be a defense here, actually, from the Bombers.
That's crazy to me. Once again, the Direwolves have double teleport available and Raze's ult. I thought that would have just 100% been like throw the ultimate at Mimic and look to blow him up instantly there, but they don't even look for the play. That means, once again, they're trading down. Bomber's able to get another turret. This is still only a 300 gold game, but kind of one team looks very decisive, and the Direwolves are really picking their punch. Now, they haven't thrown a big one yet, which is why the game hasn't exploded out of control, because there's always 2 sides to that as well, right? You go for that engage and it doesn't work, all of a sudden, you know, you've lost on that side, you've maybe given away 3 kills, Mimic's a lot more snowballed in the side lane, so you can be positive about the way the Direwolves are playing right now. They're keeping it within touching distance, but it also is just one of those strange things to see, you know, a team with such a mid-game centric comp playing it so patiently and so slowly.
Not quite committing to those plays for sure. Wilder just getting Grump on the opposite side. Same thing for Raze. Will be 3 dragons in a row though. I mean, Direwolves have basically just been accruing dragons in the solo game. First was a Mountain off of a good rotation. Second was Cloud, wasn't contested. And third just comes in here as everyone's basically just doing busy work right now. So Direwolves with double Mountain, not combat stats, but still useful.
Yeah, and you can see that there is definitely some big items coming through right now. It's going to be Death Cap second for Wilder. I don't know if I've seen a Death Cap second jungler in a long time.
No, I don't think so.
I actually
maybe
don't
ever,
think Talia has the best scaling with AP either. I think she's more of a penetration kind of character. But, you know, that's what he's bought, and I'm going to trust him. Raze, on the other hand, she's gone for the most HP in the game, the old Warmogs.
I also just wonder about efficiency, right? Like, you know, how efficient is Death Cap second over, like, Luden's, you know? Something that actually has, like, an added effect. Because it's a multiplier item. And multiplier on one item is usually not super strong.
Just like Oblivion Orb, right? Oblivion Orb, like, is so good for flat penetration if people haven't picked up magic resistance, which they haven't. In goes Raze.
Yeah, Wilder caught out. We'll go into the stopwatch, but Double Root comes across. The rest of the Direwolves coming through, but here's Mimic and Luch just pushing forwards on this Lucian.
Big ulti.
Reflank, though, coming out from Bayer Panther. is going to topple one. Mimic flashing away. Now in a 2 versus 1.
Needs a kill.
Ryoma will join him here. Finds one, finds two. The Lysandra pulling out a clutch turnaround. A BioPanther, give him a tap for the triple.
And that's going to be the 3-for-3 trade in the end, but it looks so much better for the Direwolves with the flanking play that came in from Bio. He had a huge ultimate kind of smorgasbord of carries to choose from there, was able to blow up a couple. However, as I mentioned, you know, it's just this mid-jungle duo putting out so much damage. Katsuri dashed through a couple of pebbles, took his whole life, could not partake in the rest of that team fight. Does, however, mean Direwolves get mid lane turret. We take another look at this. When the strongest member on the team face checks, you think you've won the team fight. You see really nice teleport coming in here, and just great ultimate from BioPanther. Really good target selection. They thought they would clean up Mimic here with Get Back, but the ultimate was a little bit slow. I think it should have came out earlier. Mimic kites them back, gets very good CC. And, you know, if Bio hadn't have grabbed a double kill there, that would have been a completely different story about how we were speaking on that team fight.
Yeah, that would have been an absolute wash. But yeah, Ryoma coming in at the last minute, turning that into a 2 versus 2, gets 3 kills of his own. But now this Kennen is big. You know, like, say what you will about the laning phase, but Kennen with 3 kills, Fermi and 2.5 items now.
Yep.
Like, Kennen's ultimates will hurt. Obviously, we now know it's not a split push on hit Kennen. It's a full AP Kennen going into these team fights. So the potential for playmaking is there from Direwolves.
On a journey right now.
I don't know where he came from, but I know where he is, and that's in the enemy jungle. Though Katsuri just absolutely blasted Wilder, says that's for the early game. And Raze, he's taking all of this damage after that initial engage by Panther. Here comes the Maelstrom, pushing the entire backline back. Mimic and Ryoma on the front lines, but they're split from the team. BioPanther wasn't able to catch up, though, now turned back onto. Ryoma shut down, finally will be killed, but Mimic is now just popping off. He has the cat on top of him, and Totoro, not a whole lot he can do with that neighbor. Triple kill.
And this is another game where just another team fight where Katsuri can't do anything. He's taken so much damage at the start of the fight after picking up the first kill. Has to get out of there. And you just see Mimic without the consistent damage alive, just so damn durable through that natural sustain, through Rogue being on him the whole time, helping out with the heals and the ultimate. And this looked like it was a disaster for Direwolves. You know, Razor's already used the ulti, but that damage coming out was just disgusting from Katsuri. But you can see after this, no longer participating in the team fight. BioPanther looks like he has a great flank, is spotted out here, and then the slight speed up in the heal just keeps Luch safe. He doesn't continue to chase for the kill. Now he's going to fall down. And this is just really nicely played from the Bombers. Once again, it's the blinking hail bars, picking up kills, picking up all that additional healing from Mimic. And then the new Lysandra passive, real good at picking up kills from beyond the grave.
Yeah, I honestly wish I could see, you know, what the damage numbers were for that fight alone, because it feels like Mimic's just getting so much work done, just sweeping up the rest, the janitor of these fights. And yeah, you know, like, yes, it started off like weird for Direwolves, right? And then it was just like, oh, this should be a good fight. You straight up just killed the jungler. And that's the same story for what we saw top lane. It's just like, it starts off looking, well, this is not too bad for Direwolves, and Bombers consistently turn it around.
But, I mean, the game isn't too bad for the Direwolves right now. Like, let's be perfectly frank. As another ult comes in.
BioPanther, he's found Luch, and with all those ults returning, there is no escape.
Get dunked. Just gets a Sedge ulti chucked at him. And he's gone. Another dragon is coming up and available. Must be a pretty crappy one. It is. It's another mountain, so instead they just go towards the Baron.
Yeah, and they already have 2 of those mountains, so...
Teleport coming in, they'll collapse onto it.
But they've just found Ryoma. They'll shut him down. Katsuri will make sure of that one, and Mimic on the top side would not be collapsing. Get back, just eating this honey fruit. And honestly, with 2 members dead, Bombers, not sure how they can contest this.
Gonna try.
Mimic's doing a lot of damage over the wall. Wilder stepping up with Yuumi. Throws out the ultimate, will just take him down. Rogue gets detached right here, but the rest of the team turning around. Mimic, a lot of damage, huge knock.
Someone help the Baron!
And the Baron raises the 1v1. They'll turn back towards it. It will take it out. Mimic turn around once again, but doesn't have the damage to finish off all these low health targets.
And somehow this time the Direwolves have done it. We've said that the Bombers looked like they were just hanging on from the skin of their teeth. They won so many health bars, team fights on blinking health bars. Well, this time it's the Direwolves' turn, right? They had 4 people under probably 300 health at the end of it, but 4 survived with the Baron buff, and now it's a 3,000 gold lead. Take another look at this. BioPanther without ult is on the flank, but you can see just a very good amount of damage still coming out of him. huge ultimate. And this is where I really started getting worried, because Raze is just stuck in a duel of his life with an NPC. Will ultimately pick up the Baron, and Totoro goes golden to secure 4 people alive. And with Baron buff now up on their split pusher, teleport about to come back up and available. This is a huge power play for the Direwolves.
And you know, as much as we were framing it through the first like 20 minutes, Direwolves were never more than 500 gold behind at any one point in the game.
Well, it was just the initiative, right? It was
Yeah,
never
absolutely.
the gold. It was like how they were playing the game. It looked like they were being dictated to. But it was all that one really good deploy that came out. You know, Raze and Get Back going towards the top side of the map. And that's so weird to say, because they're 2-9 between them, right?
Yeah.
They're not having the most terrific performance. But that was really what started to bring them in, because they were getting free farm in all 3 lanes.
Wilder has found Biopanther in the jungle, just in rotation though, but he posts the ultimate, it will just blow up Wilder. Mimic will burn a flash to make sure that Kennen dies, but a 1-for-1 plus a flash and the rest of the team just take a towers on the opposite side of the map, will take it.
And if Mimic's not here and the jungle is dead, just go.
Instant ultimate, they jump on Ryoma, he'll go into the Zhonya's. Yuumi ultimate comes through, but Direwolves are unfazed by all of that. They'll step forwards, they'll chunk down the tower. Like it was paper, double mountains definitely paying off in this circumstance. Moving on to the inhibitor itself, Luch stepping forward, loses half of his HP. And Mimic tossing out the chains once again, but here comes Raze. This Sejuani with the War Mugs will push all day unless you actually put him down.
Mimic now in trouble.
Definitely has Rogue on top of him, walking back towards the turrets, but the focus is the inhibitor, and they've done enough. Direwolves in one push, basically in one play in the last 2 minutes, have just found themselves a 5k advantage.
And Direwolves looking Mammoth-esque in the patience in which they've played this game. It
Absolutely.
looked like Bombers once again had a team on the ropes and was just throwing haymaker after haymaker. But it looks like they've kind of got punch drunk, right? They've just tired themselves out a little bit. And now the Direwolves are just able to start picking them apart. Really great trade on the flip side of the map. Biopanther getting a kill in a 2v1 scenario. You can never understate how valuable that is for relieving pressure on the map. It gets them the bottom lane inhibitor. They get another dragon in the retreat, now with a 5,000 gold lead and a huge cannon. This game is going to be very difficult. Bombers starting to look for death rushes.
It's the best they can really hope for in this situation. Mimic coming in. And Raze. They're just stationary in the river right now, waiting for Katsuri. But yeah, chose to go upwards instead of into the mid lane, so recalls is probably coming through here from the Bombers. Yeah, Luke steps out, reveals himself, and yeah, pretty much just setting up for another defense front to back here in their base. Carrying out the minion wave, sending Mimic down there towards the bottom lane, and Direwolves, this is basically standing gold here to just knock down this turret on their way to the true objective of the inhibitor tower.
Yeah, and you can see that the Bombers kind of know that. That one's indefensible. You don't want to give a team, you know, set up time in top lane and then try and defend an outer instead. Let's try and defend at the base. But in all honesty, I don't know how they do it. They don't have teleport on Ryoma. He's certainly their best flanker. It's going to have to be a very creative Talia wall into a massive combo from Mimic at this stage of the game, because whilst we were singing the praises of Luch early, he's now down 70 CS and, you know, a couple of kills, and that is like an AD Ezreal. This isn't the one that, you know, has got good poke. This is a good consistent.
Wolf dashes into the glacial prison there. Has Yuumi still on top of him, get back with the pressure. Meanwhile, Ryoma in the back line, Mimic there as well, but Biopanther, he's just shutting everyone down with the slicing Maelstrom, pushing them away from the tower. It's 2 kills. But 1-for-1.
And that's the best case scenario for the Bombers. They got the wall. They got the combo on the back line. And they were tanking turret shots the entire time, Pulse. And it's still just a 1-for-1 trade. They are the ones that have to go back to the fountain.
I mean, yeah, Raze was the one on the receiving end of most of that damage. He'll just shake all of that off. Now onto the inhibitor itself. Rogue moving towards Luch. He's doing his best to poke, but I mean, as a short-range AD carry, not much he can do in that situation. Now double inhibitors down.
And this is the most impressive performance from the Direwolves I've seen in a long time. And it's on the back of Totoro being back in the team.
Yep.
You know, just looking so much more cohesive as a 5-man unit. Once again, say what you will about that early game. It was getting a little bit ugly, but their side lanes have really picked it up in this game.
I mean, it's just crazy because it's day to day, right? Like, it was a corporal game yesterday, and only the Direwolves, right, like, lose a game to Gravitas, and then here today they're up against Bombers, a team that everyone we're talking about right now, and suddenly they're in a, basically ready to take the kill shot on this game. You know, we're 31 minutes in with a huge advantage, and yeah, I mean, like, obviously I do feel like Totoro perhaps was like a contributing factor, but this is just a different playbook.
And like, there's just so many things to speculate with this Dire Wolves lineup. Like, who's making the calls?
Yep.
Is it the Koreans? Like, does that require 2 of them to be in the starting lineup? Because right now, there is just so many things you can say.
Sedgwick was out. Ryoma comes into the backline once again, goes into his Zhonya's. Mimic is cleaning up though, finds Raze. And Katsura is the first to drop there, so, you know, cast a curse, I guess.
Yeah, that was an ugly one.
Yep.
You know, flung the ulti, had good vision on them, but just missed by a whisper. That means that the ultimate Malayan CC is there. This is still a defendable Baron, however, because there are super creeps pushing in the base from multiple angles, and the Kennon's still alive. You know, this is a 5-item Cannon. You do not want to be stuck in the pit if Biopanther gets the perfect flank.
Brings the wall
Just
up.
go Wilder.
Yeah, we'll see what Biopanther can do. Yeah, has to flash, going for this one. Will look to turn around into the Slicing Maelstrom onto 3. Goes into the Zhonya's. All 3 members very low. Will be shut down. Good timing there from Mimic, but...
I mean, that's enough, right? Now you can't do Baron
they can't do
because,
Baron.
yeah, Katsuri has teleport available. And they're low enough that Get Back can probably do some work, even though he's 1-7. So really well played there from Bio. I thought he could have just killed the jungle. Like, he has Flash available. If he just flashes on him off that wall, probably does pick up the kill. But now, with Super Creeps in the base, they're going to ask the question of, you know, do you guys want to try and... They actually can't even get in, technically. If they hit that Blast Plant from over the wall, Wilder can't get into the Baron. He has no Flash.
Yeah, and a lot of poke coming through actually from Katsuri. Chasing down Luch, half health him, Mimic the same. Yumi ultimate used preemptively, expecting him to follow, but that's a big ultimate down now. Wilder still hanging around just in case they kick off his Baron, but I think Direwolves are really just looking for kills right here.
And the shoe really is on the other foot, right? Look how aggressively the Direwolves are hunting. Teleport coming in from behind, though.
Oh, this is big. Instant initiate onto Wilder, but he goes into the Zhonya's himself, but the flank is huge here. Luch following down, should be able to take down Totoro, who's following through, and now he's able to call through onto Katsuri. Follow-up Mimic will just get one after another. Double kill out from Ryoma as well. 4 kills for the Bombers.
And this is just the Bombers, like, looking for their plays. There is no teleport available on Biopanther. There was, however, on Ryoma. Funnel them into the choke point and then smash them. This is going to be Baron picked up, and Bombers are just back in control of this game.
This game has been crazy. Like this
day has been
just
crazy.
Swapped hands like so many times in the last 10 minutes. This day actually has been crazy.
So let's take another look at it, right? I said Direwolves aggressively hunting. Well, it looked like they found kind of the 2 members they were looking for, but Wilder just able to live on the back end. Once a good, again, really good job done from Rogue. Luch going forward, still able to do significant damage. And just the resets coming out from Mimic. Look at the self-healing of Aatrox at the moment. It's why he's such a disgusting top lane champion in team fights. Gets to build full damage and then do that.
Yep. But at the same time, that was a 4 versus 5, right? Like Biopanther was at base. He was walking up, arrives, his whole team's dead.
Yeah.
I mean, looking for that initial pick, but I mean, you're
Like
trying
that
to hunt a
episode of
Zhonya's
Community.
pick. Huh?
Episode of Community walks into the apartment.
Yeah, and
with the
everyone's just
pizzas,
on fire, and
everything
it's
on
like,
fire.
alright, I guess I'll take the minion wave. I'll eat my pizza. Yeah, kind of a disaster, and I mean, you've got to, like, you can literally hit tab and see, you know, Zhonya's user plus Ryoma just is a Zhonya's user and is also Lissandra. Not a good amount of pick targets, even Mimic, you know, with Guardian Angels, so yeah, questionable choice maybe. And now Bombers, you're absolutely right. I mean, they are being pushed back, but definitely not behind. Chucking out the ultimate once again, this time on the top side of the map, but Katsuri does not want to face check into that one. Absolutely not. And Ryoma, he's down to half from this poke, courtesy of the Ezreal.
I wonder if they just
Hunting.
go bottom lane. Doesn't look like it's going to be the case. So that is a lot of cooldown use, right? They've thrown out the Sejuani ulti as well as flash ultimates out of both Katsuri and Totoro as well, and they haven't got anything for it. Have forced them back to their base, which is good when you have a Baron bot. You know, going to be able to delay kind of any base break on their side, but wonder how the next team fight looks.
And Bombers just pushing out of their base now, you know. I feel like a lot of these carries are well and truly scaled.
Yeah,
4 items in top lane.
really just Luch that they're waiting on, right? You would say Mimic, definitely good to go. You know, when you look in the mid lane, Ryoma's well and truly ready to go. Like, even the jungle position, certainly still very, very strong for the Bombers. So, you know, Luch probably waiting on an IE or something along those lines to really hit the mid game, the late game spike he's looking for on this Lucian. But certainly team fight ready. On the flip side, you know, kind of get back is the useless one in that scenario.
I mean, he's had a rough game, you know, straight out of the laning phase. It didn't really get better for him. A lot of this game has happened around him, and his job has been to hit the ultimatum.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been very difficult in the mid lane. But that being said, Panther's more than made up for it bottom lane as well. Cats are in a great place. But Bombers able to pick up the top tower, and still bottom outer has not been removed from the map just yet. So I imagine Bombers will want to take that one down at some point, though I'm looking towards a potential flank here from Panther. He's found Mimic, who's stepping forwards. Raze, yeah, will hop the wall. Doesn't walk back into that one, but they turn towards the mid lane. Katsuri just out of position. Totoro maybe soon to follow. Get back as the redemption. He's slowed down, but he gets back behind the tower. I mean, a pick on the AD carry, and this could almost just be it.
Yeah, it certainly could be. I mean, that's a long death timer, 45 seconds. However, they do have to respect the CC and damage still of Biopanther and Raze, so they will back out. This is going to be base broken in multiple areas. And that was nearly a Captain Jack QSS from Totoro. You know, I was looking for it on Katsuri. He doesn't have it available, but it is going to be the Chalice, Mikhail's there. And that was just really, really nicely done. And Katsuri still just disappeared.
Yep. No Ezreal to be seen. Even had flash. Or may have just come up. But yeah, Bombers off of that pick will pick up 2 inhibitors. And that's not a bad Baron push. You see the gold swing in their direction now by 4K. And I really just don't know who's going to win this game. I mean, I want to say Bombers, but as soon as I say it, I know Dire will just wipe him in the jungle.
I mean, it's just like, does Ryoma get another flank, or does Bio? Because we've seen 2 from Bio. That's the fights that, you know, have gone pretty even, or Direwolves have won.
Yep.
We've now seen a couple of really good ones from Ryoma. On the flip side, that's a couple of fights that the Bombers have won really handily as well, and been able to kick down the door. So this, to me, is just a battle of, like, the 2 burst mages, the Elementalists. None of them are calling out Daisy or anything like that.
Hopefully not.
Are able to get a lot of work done still.
Yeah. I hear they're getting nerfed in the next patch. Feels good, man. I hate it when you get to late game and literally 4 people have Elementals. You're like, all right, cool. And yeah, Katsuri and Totoro, dynamic duo, just walking through the jungle right here. No objectives on the board, basically. 4 dragons, actually 5 dragons have gone down in this game. 3 clouds, 2 mountains. And yeah, we're just waiting on things to fight over.
And Pulse, I personally hate it when I'm on 2 items and the opponent I'm playing against has completed their build. And it shouldn't happen very often.
Yeah,
But unfortunately for Get Back, that is what's happened this game.
I mean, he's also padded it out, though, right? Like, you know, I've
He's
got myself...
too.
Yeah, I got myself correcting motion. I'll hold on to this. I'll get a pickaxe. Okay, I'm 6 items. Yeah, full build Ryoma.
That's insane.
There's quite the difference.
You're
yeah.
3
You know what? I'll
full
give him 2.5.
item five.
That's just third item.
Oh, I honestly can't believe it. Don't get me wrong, items are expensive items, you know. Ravenous Hydra,
Sure,
Trinity
yep.
Force, 2 of the most expensive items in the game. But this is just Bombers trying to end.
Yeah, actually 3 members just in the base right now. Biopanther was ready for it. He'll pop the ultimate, jump in with the Maelstrom to buy time more than anything. He's stunned, but he goes into the Zhonya's. Mick really wants to finish off this Lightning Rat, and
They got it.
Katsuri. I mean, they just walk down the base, take it out, and there it is. Bombers will finish off the game.
What an end to a very exciting game. But, I mean, the Bombers, very good performance in the early game, dictating the pace. Got caught in a couple of bad deploys, got collapsed on, lost pace of the game, but much in the same way I compliment the Chiefs. This is how you know they're a championship-ready side.
Yeah.
Because that game was done. Baron, double inhibs down, like, should have been game over. Direwolves have fought themselves back in a commanding position, but they hold on. They fight for every inch of their base, and then it finally falls back in their favor, and they're able to close it out.
This is crazy. You know, like, I was certain that was going to be a Direwolves win, and I would have been like, you know, only Direwolves lose to Gravitas and a follow-up of a win against Bombers, right? And then now it's a 0-2 weekend, you know, which could have been, you know, the 1-1. But Bombers, yeah, as you said, tenacity.
Which is a crazy weekend, right? Think about it. Like, 2 of the most informed teams, in my opinion, coming into this weekend were Avant and Direwolves.
Yep.
And they've both just gone, you know, 0-2 on the weekend. That's insane to think about. And these teams are just getting challenged in all different directions, you know. Bombers, back-to-back impressive performances. They 2-0 their weekend. They now throw themselves into that top 3 contender conversation. You know, everywhere it just seems like the league is really being shaken up at the moment, and we're getting a new patch next week. That's what makes me the most excited about it. You know, say what you will about this weekend of League of Legends, I guarantee next weekend is going to be crazier because it's just going to be completely new champions.
Yeah, you know, it makes me excited because, like I said this to Rusty as well, but coming from the LPL where you don't know when a patch is going to drop and then you get 3 at once, and you're just like, I don't know, you know, but then you come to this scene, it's like regular patches and you can plan in advance, you know, it feels good, and I'm excited to see, you know, obviously what the next patch brings because there's a lot of interesting things
this
for me
is
in that
3
patch.
patches in one, really.
Yeah.
When you have a look
I mean,
at like the
that's fair,
patch
yeah, sure.
and then the hot fix and then like the adjustment period in the patch where like, you know, they've knocked up all the champions that were on the fringe of being good. Like this really is like 914's bonkers.
Yep, exciting stuff, but that's going to do it for the game. For now, we're going to send it back over to Nick Boy for the player interview.
Thank you very much. I've got Rogue here. Congratulations, mate. Now, as a viewer, especially today, there is just no sense of who's going to take it out, who's going to win. What is it like inside the game?
Watching the matches beforehand were great, but playing that match was really stressful.
Were you thinking, like, that's not going to happen to us, we're just going to stomp?
That game went so many different directions all over the time, but I feel like that's a game that last week we wouldn't have won. I feel like the improvement we've made recently has been tremendous for the team.
And what is that improvement? What have you been focusing on?
I feel like we all kind of got a lot of motivation back, right? I think it's very much to do with motivation, and we kind of all got that back, and I think we got a lot closer as a team as well. So this past week has been like huge for us, and I don't know, it was kind of demoralizing because it was like we couldn't know if like we were going to get good by the time grand final came along, and that was like a scary thought in everyone's mind. But then we're getting good now. All of a sudden, like hard work's paying off, and it's such a good feeling. And that's our first 2-0. So.
And is it helpful to you the fact that there is so much closeness on the ladder, that it doesn't feel like there's a team who's just up here and then everybody else, that it does feel achievable?
This split is really fun, actually. Like, usually you can look at a split and say, like, which team's best. Like, how do you do power rankings this split?
Yeah.
I don't know how power rankings, like, people aren't doing them, but people need to start doing power rankings because they're going to be interesting because everyone's all over the place.
And talk us through the decision to end the way that you did in that game, because that was a move.
I'm just going to say Ryoma is a beast when he's in his element. You know, Tommy's highest highs they're incredible. Like he's stepped up for this team after Victor left, because Victor was probably our biggest shot caller, and now Tommy's doing a lot of that. So on Tommy's really good days, like he's going to be the reason that we win OPL, I reckon.
And are you seeing improvement on his shot calling and stuff throughout the split?
Oh, I think he's just a really smart player in general, and I guess it's just a matter of like being confident to use that voice, and it's coming out on stage. I think everyone's getting more confident. You know, even Luch he's actually comfortable in AD now. You know, he's having a lot of input on the draft. He's kind of arcing up on me, telling me to play cat champions and things.
Right.
But
So he's developing opinions.
oh, he's getting a bit of sass actually. Before the game, he told me to play some volley bear for my first time, and I inted, and then he got angry at me for inting. So he's kind of arcing up a bit. But no, everyone's getting more confident. Like he's making calls, everyone's making calls, everyone's getting comfortable.
Awesome, man. Now, you want to make it to MEO. You obviously took out the last split. There is a lot of potential for you guys to be able to do it again. If you did, what sort of segment would you want to see from the couch at MEO?
There's a couch at MEO.
There's going to be a couch at MEO.
Can I-
We're going to build one.
Okay,
That
well-
could be a segment. We could just build the couch.
Build the couch. That's what do you do at MEO? There's a big crowd, so it's got to be something hype. You got to get the crowd
Yeah.
cheer. Like, can you cheer on building a couch?
Well, that's up to them, really. Like, I'll tell them to.
Like a really intense. There needs to be like a bet on the line. That's for sure. Like
bed?
A bet.
Oh, right. I was
Yeah,
like, we're already making a couch.
It's like
I can't
speed
fit a bed
couch
in,
building,
so-
right?
Yeah, okay.
Like if you don't build in
2
time.
couches.
You know, you guys do the chili thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you don't build fast enough. You gotta
Yeah.
eat, like every minute building the couch is a chili.
Yeah, we should eat a couch.
And a chili couch.
Chili couch.
Just cover a couch in chili and eat it.
All right, so far we've got Jake does stand-up comedy. We need to do something that leaves Claire speechless. And I think
Jake's
eating
funny?
a chili-covered couch is probably that thing.
Jake's doing stand-up comedy.
Yeah, he's going to give it a shot.
Oh,
He's the second funniest person in this room.
yeah, I'm pretty funny.
Oh, God.
Oh,
I set
yeah,
myself
yeah,
up
yeah.
for that. Cut to a commercial
I'm
break.
really good with humor.
Cut it.
when I came in, it was not a lot, but coming into this mid lane, 2 versus 2, stun goes down before the shield. First blood over to Wilder, a bit too easy.
Haven't picked up magic resistance, which they haven't. In goes Raze.
Yeah, Wilder caught out. We'll go into the stopwatch, but double root comes across. The rest of the direwall's coming through, but here's Mimic and Luch just pushing forwards on this Lucian.
Big ulti.
Reflank, though, coming out from Bayer. Panther is going to topple one. Mimic flashing away. Now in a 2 versus 1.
Needs a kill.
Ryoma will join him here. Finds 1, finds 2. The Lysandra pulling out a clutch turnaround. A Bayer Panther. Give him a tap for the triple.
And that's going.
I don't know where he came from, but I know where he is, and that's in the enemy jungle. Though Katsuri just absolutely blasted Wilder, says that's for the early game. And Raze, he's taking all of this damage after that initial engage by Panther. Here comes the Maelstrom, pushing the entire backline back. Mimic and Ryoma on the front lines, but a split from the team. Panther wasn't able to catch up, though, now turned back onto. Ryoma shut down, finally will be killed, but Mimic is now just popping off. He has the cat on top of him, and Totoro, not a whole lot he can do with that neighbor. Triple kill.
And the teleport coming in from behind, though.
Oh, this is big. Instant initiate onto Wilder, but he goes into the Zonius himself, but the flank is huge here. Luch following down, should be able to take down Totoro, who's following through, and now he's able to call through onto Katsuri. Follow-up Mimic will just get one after another. Double kill out from Ryoma as well.
Bomber's trying to end.
Yeah, actually 3 members just in the base right now. Panther was ready for it. He'll pop the ultimate, jump in with the Maelstrom to buy time more than anything. He's stunned, but he goes into the Zonias. Mimic really wants to finish off this Lightning Rat, and Katsuri, I mean, they just walk down the base, take it out, and there it is. Bombers will finish off the game.
At Macca's, our burgers are now hotter, juicier, and tastier, with onions added at the grill for more flavour, perfectly melted cheese, and softer buns. They're the best Macca's burgers ever.
I am happy for Bombers for their win. There was clear relief from the